Hey there, how's it going? Welcome to Looplearnings, and we are making expense management system. And this is the third video in the series. And in this video, we will work on the user interface. In the last video, I have created a database that consists of 4 tables. We've created some relationships as well. If you haven't watched that, I would suggest that you do. And if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. In any case, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure that you do and hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Right. In this video, as I said, we are going to focus on the user interface, which means we'll make forms. First, we'll make users forms. So that's what we will be looking forward in this video. And then we will gradually and slowly create the other forms as well. Now, to create a new form, we will navigate to the ribbon of Microsoft Access. And you can see here, create. And under the create ribbon, we will go to the forms section. In here, we will see there are different options provided to create a new form. Now we have form design, blank form. These are kind of same, but every different type of form has a different type of purpose. What we are looking for is form design. So I'll click on form design. We'll get a blank canvas. I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because we don't need that much of space. Whenever I make a form, first thing I like to do is I like to do a little formatting. So if I go to the form view, you can see that we have got, first of all, this form is not pop-up form, and secondly, you can see that we have got record selectors and navigation, and then it's not visible, but we have scroll bar as well, even the horizontal, vertical. These are all useful elements of a form, but for this application, for this form purpose, we actually don't need all of it. So let's do a little formatting, and then we will go ahead and proceed with the rest of the video. So I'll right click, go to design view, and the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to format tab of the property sheet, and in here I'm going to make auto center yes, and this is the way I do the design. For you it might not be applicable, but this is how I do it. So that's why I'm going with that sequence. Record selectors, I turn them off. Navigation, I turn them off. Scroll bars, I turn them off. The reason, because it is a single form, we don't need scroll bars. Control box, we'll keep it. Close button, we'll keep it. However, min max button, I'll get rid of them, and rest everything I don't change it. Now I will go to the other tab and pop up yes, modal yes, cycle mean current record or all record. I would like to keep current record. Now if I will go to the form view, the form looks a little different. Right now, let's go back, or first of all, let's save the form. So we'll give a name to the form. So it's users form, so we'll say users f. There you go. Now we'll go to the design view, and first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to change the caption, and the caption would be users form. All right, and then we'll go to the form design again. We'll go to the add existing fields. We haven't got anything because it is not yet linked to any database, which we are going to do very soon. But before we do that, I'll right click here and I'll bring the form header and footer. This creates very nice aesthetic of the form. So I usually like to create header and footer for each form that I create. Now I've been using blue color, greenish color for my user interface in previous videos. So this time we are going to try a little bit different. We'll go to design view. I'll select the form header. We'll go to the format tab, shape fill, and I'm going to get this purple color. All right, I don't know whether this is purple or whatever the name is. I think this is a little different than the previous videos. Okay, so we close the form, double click, and it is opening in the center, and it looks nicer as well. Now let's go ahead and let's bind this form, or let's link this form to a database. So this is the table in which we will actually this is a table we will link this form to. All right, so we'll go to data tab, record source, and I'm going to link this to users. And after that, I'll go back to form design, add existing fields. I'll drag and drop or double click. It's up to me. Email, password, status date. I'll select all, right click, layout, stack them. Once I do that, I'll go back to home tab. I'll change the font to Calibri, and I will change the font color to full black, and I'm going to actually control padding narrow, and I'm going to go to the property sheet for these text boxes. And the reason I want to go there is because I want to change the height, and I want to give a top margin to 0.05. Okay, so that's the housekeeping which was required. So I'm going to expand them. I'll expand this as well. This is a bit too much, so let's change the width. I'll come here, and in here we will do a little formatting here. All right, now this is very important because you want your form to look very nice, very professional. visually aesthetic. It has to be better. So let's select all, make them bold, and let's bring this a little bit closer. And now if we will go, now it looks a little different, right? Okay, we're not done yet. We need to do a lot more to actually complete this task. And I'm going to move them a little bit. Next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to select these three fields because we don't want users to give a manual input. We will lock them. So we'll say enabled no, oh, enabled no, locked yes. And then we'll go to format tab and we'll give a light background color so people would know, or users would know, that these fields are non-editable. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to actually bring two buttons here. So we'll get form design. Under control section, we'll select the control called button, and we will go to the format tab, quick styles. This is the quick style. I'm going to change the line thickness to the minimum, and then I'm going to actually go to home tab, change the font and make it full black. And in fact, I'll go back and I'll change the shape outline to the similar color. All right. Okay. Now we'll say create user. All right. And I'm going to copy and paste and update user. Oops. Okay. All right. So that's done. Now let's give a name, btn create, and then btn update. Okay. So now that's done. The next step I'm going to do is I'm going to unbound this form. All right. And I'm going to unbound these fields as well. And the reason I will do that is because I'm going to use record sets to create a new record. Now, hold on. I know not all of you actually may like record sets and this method of capturing the data. I can definitely keep this form linked to a database table, and that should be fine. That should work perfectly fine. But the reason I change it, the reason I make it unbound, is because sometimes, there's by mistake you will enter a character or letter that should not be immediately going in database and saving it. So that's one of the reason. The other reason is your application is going to be used by a lot of people, so unbound form will increase performance a little bit, not too much but a little bit. This is not written anywhere, I believe, but I know from the personal experiences. Anyway, so we'll go here and we are going to actually make sure that we do the VBA coding behind these buttons. So let's go and click on create user, event tab, on click event, code builder, and here we are in VBA editor. Now in here, we are going to use VBA, as I said, and to use VBA, we will specifically use record sets. And to use record sets, we will actually have to declare a variable, and that would be dim rs as record set. And then we have to specify what does rs means. This rs, what does it mean? So set rs equals and current tb dot open record set parenthesis open parenthesis close double quote, and we will simply provide the name of the table because that's what the record set is all about. All right. So we'll provide this information and that's it. Well, we are not done yet. We have started using the record sets. Now we will open the record set. So we'll say rs.add new, and then we will close the record set with rs.update, set rs or rs dot okay, close, set rs equals nothing. All right. Now between these update and new, we will actually save the record. So I'm going to go back to the table. We'll go to the design view, and first thing I'm going to capture is the username. So rs username equals me dot username. All right, not id. Okay. Next, what we are going to do is, come on. Next, we will copy the email. Rs email equals me dot email. All right. Next, we have password. So rs password equals me dot password. Next, we have status. So basically, status equals active. And then we have status date equals format parenthesis open parenthesis close. And we are going to get the date into the format like date, month, year. All right, so that is done. And then we will say rs status equals me dot status, rs status date equals me dot status date. There you go. We are pretty much done with the VBA code that will actually help us to transfer the information from the user form to the table as per my requirement. So that's what it will do. But we will give a little bit of feedback like do cmd.beep message box. The user has been created successfully. All right, comma VB information, comma information. All right. Then now before I exit, one very important thing I'm going to do is when we will create a record, a new record particularly, the user ID will be created and it will be stored in the database, but it won't be reflected onto the form until unless we close the form, reopen, then it should reflect. But it would be great idea to populate the user ID immediately the moment it is saved. And to do that, we will use dmax function. All right. So let's say me dot what is it? Me dot the user ID, okay, equals dmax, that's the function name, and then we will provide the name of the field, and that is user ID, okay, comma, and then it is asking tell me the domain. Domain simply means query or table. At this moment we are fetching the user ID from users t. That's it. So now we should have the user ID auto populated the moment the record is created. Let's debug it. No error as of now. Now let's go ahead and do the coding behind update user button, and then we can test it out. So dot code builder, and we will use another declare. We will declare another variable, and this time we'll say dim rs update. Same the way we did it before in a case of the creating record set. So we are going to actually so we'll say current db dot open record set parenthesis open parenthesis close double quote users t. All right, comma, here we have to provide the option, so we can say db open dynaset. Okay, all right, now this is a little bit different as compared to rs update is a little bit different as compared to creating a new. In creating a new record, you don't have to find whether that user id exists or not, although you can. But in updating, we must first check if the user ID which the user has provided does exist in the database. If that's the case, then the updates will be made. So to do that, we'll say rs update dot find first. So what are we trying to find? User ID equals ampersand me dot user ID. All right. So let's say if rs update dot no match equals true. If there is no match, then go ahead and create a record. All right, else and if. Okay, so if no match in the table, which means if this id does not exist in the table, sorry, correction, if this id does not exist in the table, then give an error to the user saying the updates cannot be made because there is no id in the database, the id that you're providing. So basically access should tell the user. Otherwise, go ahead and update the record. So that's what we are doing. I'm sorry for the confusion that this might have caused, but if there is no record, if rs update dot no match is equal to true, that means no record exists with the user ID that is provided by the user, then do not update. That's what we are hoping to achieve. So if rs update dot no match equals to true, then do cmd dot beep message box this action, or simply we will say the user does not exist in the database. That's it. Comma VB critical, comma double quote information. All right. If that is false, then go ahead and update the record. To update, we'll say rs update dot edit, and we'll close this also. Rs update dot update, rs update dot close. Set rs update equals nothing. All right. So this is what we are going to do, and in between these two lines of code, I'm going to copy everything in here. I'm going to come down and I'm going to paste in here. So this is me. Rather than typing again, we will copy and paste. Only we will do a little bit of tweaking, and that would be here. So instead of rs, we'll change to rs update. Okay, and we will copy the message box as well, and we are going to come here and we are going to paste. The user has been updated successfully. All right, so I think our code, we are done with the code. Now I think it's time to test it out if this works or not. So let's close that. Now I'm going to provide information in the table. So let's say username would be, let's say Tony Stark. All right, So Tony at email.com, whatever. Password Stark. All right, that's the password. So we'll click create, and we are met with a error. And let's debug it. And status state. All right, see, that's the problem. It should not be N only. It should be now. Okay. Now it should work. Create. There you go. Now we have user ID, all the information captured, active. So let's go ahead and check in the table. Yep, you can sure definitely see that. Now let's create another user. Let's say Robin James, Robin at email.com. Password would be James, something like this. And we'll click create. There you go. So let's say we forgot, or by mistake, it should not be only Robin James. It should be Robin Edward James. By the way, these names are only for the tutorial purposes, please. And we will update the record. So let's see. All right. Now if we'll go to table, and there you go. We have Robert Edward James. So that tells you that our form is working, the code is working behind these two buttons. And this is what exactly I wanted to demonstrate in this video. I hope that you have learned something. If you like whatever you've seen, smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you have not. Hit the bell icon so you get notification whenever I upload a new video. Thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.